Good afternoon, and welcome to the Fall 2024 New Student Convocation. I am Dr. Elze Brosheva, Associate Provost and Professor of Mass Communications. On behalf of the Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Denise Cobb, I am thrilled to welcome you to the SIUE community. Provost Cobb is not in attendance today because she's helping her own child, a new college student, settle into their new university. This ceremony is the symbolic opening of the 155th academic year of the SIU system and the 67th academic year at SIUE. On behalf of the entire SIUE community, I wish to thank our cheer and dance team, Eddie the Cougar, and DJ Fat Mac, an SIUE alumnus, for our pre-event entertainment. I would also like to thank the interpreters from the Accessible Campus Community and Equitable Student Support Office, better known as ACCESS, for sharing their skill in American Sign Language interpretation so all attendees have full access to the program. Thank you. Thank you. I'm pleased to acknowledge members of the university's leadership team who have been eagerly awaiting your arrival to SIUE. I know they look forward to celebrating the beginning of the academic year with you. I want to extend a special welcome to Dr. Dan Mahoney, President of the SIU system. Would all members of the platform party please stand if you're able to do so and be recognized? Thank you. Be seated. I also wish to recognize our incredible faculty seated in the front rows immediately before me and the outstanding staff members located throughout the facility. It is through their dedicated work of all these individuals in designing and executing the curricular of the university and supporting your student experience that you will have the opportunity to achieve your educational goals, culminating in a graduation ceremony in this very room. Would all faculty and staff in attendance today please stand if you're able to do so and be recognized? Thank you, and be seated. Before I have the honor of presenting your class to the esteemed members of the platform party and the faculty, I'd like to acknowledge that each one of us has a unique story, our story. So here's a little bit of mine. As a high school student in communist Bulgaria, my journey to college took place in a time when the world was defined by a single, all-encompassing ideology. The society I knew was shaped by a strict and unwavering system, a system that promised equality but often delivered constraint. It was a time when dreams were regulated and our choices were circumscribed by boundaries, both physical and ideological, that sought to control all facets of our lives. Our education was designed to reinforce the state's vision. Our futures were mapped by predetermined paths, and our freedoms were limited by the walls of an invisible ideological fortress. Yet, amidst this controlled environment, something profound occurred. We grew resilient, adaptive, and resourceful, and we learned to dream and hope. Then came the moment when the Berlin Wall, which divided the East and the West during the Cold War, began to crumble. The collapse of communism was not just a political shift. It was a seismic change that rippled through every aspect of our lives. For many, it was disorienting. The stability we once knew was replaced with uncertainty, and the promises of the past seemed to evaporate, while the future looked bleak and riddled with challenges. Yet in this chaos, a new world began to emerge, one that felt vibrant with possibilities and brimming with opportunities. For me, the defining manifestation of these possibilities became clear when I realized that I, a Bulgarian student who wasn't allowed to travel abroad or even have a passport, had the opportunity to attend the first American liberal arts institution in Eastern Europe, the American University in Bulgaria. The university was in existence for only 2 years when I enrolled as a new first-year student. It occupied the space of the former communist headquarters, naturally carried markings of our troubled past, but also was beaming with excitement at the potential of change. I, just like you, did not know what to expect when I set foot on campus. Leaving my parents, my friends, my comfort zone felt scary, but also signaled the right moment for me to define my own path in life. A new path also meant finding new passions, making new friends, most importantly, discovering what I'm really good at while growing and thriving despite challenges along the way. So I hope that just like me, you too will embrace uncertainty and see it as a blank canvas for your ambitions. Remember, change, while it might feel scary and at times unsettling, can be a powerful analyst for growth. It challenges us to reimagine our paths and seize opportunities we may never have anticipated. I'm grateful that as a first-time college student, I leaned into the instinctive excitement of youth, the spirit of adventure, the community I felt around me, and I hope that each one of you will do the same. Persevere, innovate, and find strength within yourself and your peers. Seated before us are members of a class of nearly 1,500 individuals who, for more than 2 years, have been recruited by the Office of Admissions, our deans, faculty, staff, and coaches. We believe they will strengthen our academic community and continue this institution's great legacy. They bring with them considerable gifts, talents, and promise, which together we will use to fulfill SIUE's mission to develop professionals, scholars, and leaders who shape a changing world. Since orientation this summer, we have been working to learn more about this new class of students. Here's a little bit about them. The students in this first-year class come to us from 429 different high schools and communities in 21 states. Today, we welcome students from 10 countries: Bolivia, China, Germany, Ghana, India, Indonesia, Kyrgyzstan, Nepal, Nigeria, Peru, Spain, Switzerland, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, Vietnam, Yemen, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. These students come from graduating senior classes as large as 914 students and as small as 6. Our US students come from as far away as Guam and California, and as near as our own SIUE East St. Louis Charter High School, Collinsville High School, yay! Collinsville High School, Metro East Lutheran High, and of course, Edwardsville High School. The class has an average high school GPA of 3.56, which includes 391 students with a 4.0 GPA. That's 26% of the entire class. We double-checked. And finally, befitting our mission to develop professionals, scholars, and leaders who will shape a changing world, members of the class have documented countless hours of volunteer service in their communities prior to joining us. This class also includes many proud individuals who have served or are serving in various branches of our U.S. Armed Forces. We thank them for their service and look forward to their contributions on campus. Chancellor Minor, members of the Platform Party, faculty, staff, and current students, I now have the pleasure of presenting to you our newest class of Cougars. It is now my privilege to introduce Dr. James T. Minor. Chancellor Minor began his appointment as SIUE's 10th Chancellor in March 2022. A recognized thought leader in the field of higher education, Dr. Minor has a noted resume of teaching and scholarship in educational policy, administration in higher education, academic governance, and more. Chancellor Minor's bold leadership is propelling the university forward as he develops a collective focus on student success, supporting and enhancing faculty excellence, and engaging donors and community partners to advance regional impact. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Minor.
Good afternoon, Cougars. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who I cannot see because of the strobes, I have had the great privilege and honor of meeting many of you earlier this week. For those of you who I have not had the opportunity to meet, I want to officially welcome you here to SIUE. Now, I know for those of you who are moving in this week, it has been a lot to take in. But I want you to know that we are certainly honored and excited that you decided to continue your education here at SIUE. Each of you, every one of you, have my sincere respect for boldly stepping onto this path that will no doubt change the trajectory of your life. Now, again, I understand you all have received a lot of information this week, and there will be other opportunities for me to give you a very long speech about something, not today. So I had to think really hard. What are the one thing, two things, three things that you would share with this class in their first week of college? So instead of offering philosophically profound wisdom that is Egyptian, Greek, or Latin in its origin, this week my message is and has been very clear. Number one is that you belong here. You're smart enough to be here, you're brilliant, and you're sufficiently talented to succeed here. Now, that might seem like a strange thing to say, especially given the GPA statistics that were just offered. But I always say if you are human, self-doubt has a way of creeping up and creeping in, even on 4.0 students. So when it does, what's the response? I like to think that it's pretty simple. Be kind to yourself. Trust yourself and trust the process. Second, we expect you to succeed here, and our definition of success is graduating. Getting into college is not what changes your life. Graduating is what changes your life. Now, it seems fitting to me that this is the very place that we also hold commencement. And one might suggest that we are purposefully and ceremoniously beginning with the end in mind. So I invite you right now to just take a moment. This is the place where we hold commencement. Take a moment to look around and imagine yourself processing into this arena again, but this time with a cap and a gown. Imagine your friends and family members occupying the seats in this arena, celebrating the fact that you are now graduating from college. And let me just preview a line from commencement. It goes something like this: you may now turn your tassel from right to left. That line should ring in your spirit, even in your first year of college. We expect you to succeed here, and graduating is our definition of success. And finally, I would say to you, ask for help. As wonderful as graduating sounds, I wish I could stand here and tell you that earning a college degree is easy, that you'll never have challenges, that the path from this day to commencement is somehow paved with stress-free, worry-free, cost-free bricks. It isn't. The truth is that earning a college degree is not easy. It requires hard work, commitment, and the ability to overcome challenges when they arise, and they will. I can't tell you that it'll be easy every step of the way, but I can tell you is that we're here to help you along the way. I want to encourage you to put us to the test. Ask for help when you need it. My guess is that many of the faculty members who are gathered here today would prefer that you ask for help in the first 2 weeks of the term, not the last 2 weeks of the term. Some of you may need help in the classroom. Some of you may need help with a housing issue. Others may just need someone to talk to make a connection to a resource or to a career opportunity. The point is that too many college students struggle in silence. Our goal is to do everything we can to support you while you're here. I want you to know that we are at your service. Convocation today not only marks a new chapter of your academic journey, your developmental journey, your life journey, it makes a statement about who you are and who you're becoming. I also know firsthand that, as you heard previously, that earning a college degree can completely change your life. You are hearing that today loud and clear. And yes, you are likely to earn more money with a college degree than you would without one. Today, a college graduate can expect to earn $1.8 million more than a high school graduate over their lifetime. And that's nice, but the true value of earning a college degree is that it can position you to live a rich, meaningful life of purpose. It can position you to do the very thing that you were created to do. Class of 2028, you have our permission to be great here. I invite you to discover the very best version of yourself here at SIUE. I invite you to harvest your wildest dreams and know that Cougars are willing to do the work required to make them come true. Have an amazing first year of college. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Minor. Next, to welcome you on behalf of the entire student body, help me welcome Barrett Larkin, President of SIUE's Student Government. Barrett is a senior from Maryville, Illinois, majoring in business economics.
Thank you, Dr. Brosheva. Hello, class of 2028. Yeah. You're now part of an exclusive club
of roughly 18 million people because you're a student enrolled at an American university. Congratulations. Far more importantly, you are an SIUE Cougar, the 1,500-person class of 2028. My name is Barrett Larkin. I was elected last year by your soon-to-be peers to be the 2024-2025 student body president. That means I work with and I lead some of our brightest and most ambitious students through SIUE's student government. You know, I'd love to use this chance to give some advice, but I'm worried that you're just so overloaded with enough information, which is a shame because I have some like really solid practical strategies that people don't always talk about. I'd tell you to like choose an extra class each semester so that you can always drop the hardest one. I would tell you to study anywhere but your room because that's where you like watch TV and hang out with your friends. I would tell you that a lot of students change their major around sophomore, junior year when the classes get hard. They think they've lost the passion for their field, but really it's just the hard classes, so persevere. But anyway, I won't say any of that. You'll forget them anyway. But if you come by the student government office, I'm happy to share more of those kinds of ideas. But besides, a lot of you are more excited about college for the social side. You're excited about new friends and new freedoms away from home. So instead of tips that you have to remember, I want to tell you something that will stay true whether you remember me talking at this podium or not. And I want to address both groups, the academic-focused, the social-focused, all of you. Most of you are what we call traditional students. You are coming from high school, probably 18 or 19 years old. SIUE is where you'll start your 20s. Now, the 20-year-old brain is a special thing. Without getting too technical, this is the time when the limbic system that controls motivation and emotions reaches like the height of its power. In your 20s, your personality changes more than any time before or any time after, which is like scary. The music that you listen to the next 4 years will probably be the music that you like for the rest of your life, to give one example. I mentioned earlier that you might be sitting here today thinking more about academics or more about your social life. You might think that one is clearly more important than the other, that one you figured out in high school and the other one you're more nervous about. But I urge you not to think this way. Both are really important, and more than that, having a balance between both of them makes each one stronger. Because the reward centers in that limbic system that I talked about are motivating the process of connecting ideas and connecting with other people. This age period that we're in is the peak time of curiosity. Your late teens and 20s is the optimal time to care most about your friends, and it's the optimal time to develop interest in your chosen major. Both are the same part of your brain. By investing in one area, you invest in both areas. You've probably already felt this limbic system kicking into overdrive. Something as simple as solving a tricky calculus problem can be extremely satisfying, or a breakup hurts way more than you ever thought it could. You have the energy to stay up all night cramming for a final, or you're willing to sacrifice a whole paycheck to impress a girl. These kinds of things happen all over the country, at college campuses, and they happen in particular embodied ways here at SIUE, in particular places, like Peck Hall or the Muck. They happen with particular people who might be living in the room down the hall. That intensity of accomplishment and emotion makes the stakes feel high at college, and I'm not here to tell you that you should just relax because it'll, pass in time. It does pass in time, but that doesn't make it not important. The highs and the lows. And a final quirk of your young adult brain and mine that I'll mention will also help you, and it's this: you are naturally more willing to take risks. A lot of older people do not like this. You will go to the party or ask for the internship, even if it might blow up in your face. Or at least it'll be easier for you to do those things. You could opt out of the risk altogether and say, it's not worth it, I don't want to get rejected, I don't want to feel awkward. But please don't. And don't use your academic life or your social life as an excuse to ignore the other one. This boldness is a skill, and it'll never be easier to learn now. It'll never be more satisfying than now. Save the overanalysis for your econ paper, not for your Friday night. You've learned about resources on campus, and you ought to use them when you can. But don't forget about the resource behind your eyes. Your brains and those of your peers surrounding you are chemically wired to make your college experience successful, dynamic, and memorable. So I can say with the full confidence of neuroscience behind me that me and you, we are young, we are passionate, we are bold, and we are SIUE. Next, please help me welcome Dr. Jessica Harris, the Vice Chancellor for Anti-Racism, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Thank you, Barrett. Hello to the class of 2028. I feel so honored to be here this afternoon to formally welcome each of you to SIUE and to the start of your academic year. To begin, I want to take you back a little bit, just a little bit, to Friday, August 14th, 1998, to the city of New Orleans and to the campus of Dillard University. That was the first day of my official transition to college. By that morning, I was all moved into my residence hall. My family had left and were already back home and coming to terms with their new normal of not having me around in the house. That day was quite interesting, and I can imagine I felt like most of you are feeling right now, a little anxious and nervous, but at the same time, eager and excited and curious about what was to come of this experience known as college. I recall a gathering much like this one. Although there were not 1,500 of us, it was closer to 300. And we were not in an arena, but a chapel, Lawless Memorial Chapel. On that day, there were several speeches, and there's a phrase from one of them that I want to share with you. And I can imagine that many of my faculty and staff colleagues gathered here today likely heard some version of this phrase in a speech upon their arrival at college. The phrase was, "Look to your left, look to your right, one of you will not be here in 4 years." In many cases, when that was said, it is to relay the message that college is different, like this is not high school. You will encounter new challenges, and you will either rise to the occasion to meet the challenge, or you will not. You will either sink or swim, fail or succeed. Well, let me tell you, when I heard this whole look to your left, look to your right thing, I was like, okay. I'm sitting there, 18 years old, looking to my left and looking to my right, and a little bit confused. And a little voice on the inside of me was whispering, "Now, Jessica, I know you don't believe that. And here is why." When I looked to my immediate right, there was one of my closest and dearest friends, Evelyn Hamilton. The Evelyn I knew and had known since the 6th grade, I was quite sure going to be at Dillard in 4 years, and we were going to graduate together. And when I looked to my left, there was Ron Gatewood, who I had just met and learned was from Memphis, Tennessee. And he was nice, and I thought, I am fairly sure he is going to be here too. And in fact, when I reflect a little more and think about who was to Evelyn's right, it was LaShonda Fugelaire from Lake Charles, Louisiana. And when I think about who was sitting on my row and who was in the room with me, who was in front of me and who was behind me, it didn't matter who they were. I didn't have to know who they were to have the audacity to question what Dr. Such and Such was up there saying about look to your left, look to your right, one of you won't be here in 4 years. Now granted, that look to your left, look to your right message is one that I presume the speaker heard when they started college, and I am sure believed was a reality check of sorts. And I get it, but that message did not resonate with me then, and it certainly does not resonate with me now. Hear me when I say that I am just audacious in my beliefs about you and your potential today as I was about my potential and that of my peers in the chapel then. And you will encounter other audacious people here at SIUE. Many of them are in this room. Countless others are not, but you will meet them along your journey, whether it is the chancellor, an academic advisor, a dean, a counselor, a building service worker, a faculty member, a cashier in Cougar Court, or an RA. I need you to know how much we believe in you and our eagerness to be a witness to your graduation. Now, our audacity is great, but yours must be greater. So look, we know that life happens, and it is true that each of your journeys here at SIUE will be yours, uniquely yours. You're sure to encounter some difficult moments and certainly some unexpected challenges. But as you prepare for next week and begin your first year as members of the SIUE community, what I am going to ask is that you look to your left and you look to your right and you say, we will graduate from SIUE, period. That is the message. That's right, period. That is the message. I want you to have this audacious belief about yourselves and each other. Now, at the time when I attended my new student convocation and looked at LaShonda, for instance, I did not know that she would go on to double major in accounting and French, and just a few years later become my line sister, my ace, my sweet, sweet soror of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and today be the head of multinational corporation subsidiary coverage, corporate and investment banking at Wells Fargo. Let's snap it up for Shonda. I did not know that Ron would go on to become the Honorable Judge Ron Gatewood, and that Evelyn, like me, would go on to earn a PhD and have a remarkable career as an educator. When I looked at them then, I did not see that future. I did not know the complexities and richness of their stories and backgrounds, and I was unaware of what would happen at Dillard to propel them all forward towards their present day realities. But what I did know at that time and was very clear about is that we all had dreams. And I recognized we were all in that room because one of those dreams we had in common. It did not matter where we were from or what we looked like. What brought us together was a shared dream and a common hope to earn a college degree that will enable us to change our lives, that of our families, and our communities. Now, each of your stories is different. How you arrived at this place to SIUE may vary, but like many of us who have sat where you sit today, as I did with my peers decades ago, I would venture to say that the why may be a common one. I want you to remember this. At SIUE, it is our diversity, your diversity, the intersections of all our identities, lived experiences, and backgrounds that makes us strong. Have the audacity to be yourselves, but also challenge yourselves to be open to the opportunity to learn from each other. I encourage you to really see each other's humanity, and to actively engage with one another in ways that won't cause harm or diminish each other's sense of belonging, but in ways that reaffirm it. You'd heard Chancellor Minor tell you that you belong here, and you do, each and every one of you. But I need you to have the audacity to believe that you not only belong here, but that others do too. And that not only will you have the audacity to graduate from this university, but even more so, that you will do it together, that you will show up for each other, be each other's keeper, and ask us and each other for support and help when you need it. My audacious dream for each of you is that you will emerge from this place as a richly beautiful and diverse community of graduates, scholars and leaders who will shape a changing world. At SIUE, we nurture excellence. We nurture excellence that is in service to others. We produce change makers. We produce graduates who have the audacity to be curious and to ask questions, the audacity to help solve the wicked problems that persist in our society, and the audacity to be bridge builders and servant leaders. Your undergraduate education will prepare and equip you to do anything you want to do professionally, but even more so, position you to answer the call to be socially responsible, caring, compassionate, kind citizens and humans of the world. As much as we are here today to enthusiastically welcome you as members of the SIUE family and community, we also know that the world needs you. Our communities need you. You are needed in classrooms, in hospitals, in corporations, in courtrooms, in public service. To the class of 2028, my audacious hope for you is that you will have the audacity to see your incredibly bright futures, to believe you will achieve your potential, and will put in the very, very hard work to get there. As you prepare to start classes next week, rest assured and know without a doubt that I wish you all the best. I wish you all good things, and I look forward to greeting you all again in this arena to celebrate your graduation. Thank you for your time, and welcome to SIUE.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. If I may share another personal story for a minute. 2 years ago, I got the chance to deliver an invited research talk at my alma mater. When I arrived on campus, I hardly recognized the place. It was a brand new, beautiful campus with new residence halls, a new library, new buildings. I felt excited to see this amazing growth, but also I felt a sense of loss, not recognizing the place that I once called my academic home. Until I walked by a wall in the new student union that displayed the photos of all the graduating classes since 1994. Seeing this old photo of my class meant everything to me. While I also hardly recognized myself in it, had to spend a minute looking at it, in that single moment, I felt so proud to have been a part of my class and to have had this moment captured as a visual celebration of all of us. Shortly, we will unveil the class of 2028's new student banner, signed by you and your peers of the incoming class during new student orientation. You will carry this banner to the Cougar statue, where you will take your class photo. Your class photo will hang on the first floor of Randleman Hall next to your fellow Cougars from previous classes. Throughout your SIUE journey, we hope you will stop by those class photos to witness the history of the institution and find yourself a reminder of who you are today in the class of 2028 class photo. Now, I'd like to invite Student Body President Barrett Larkin, Samantha Ray, Director of Admissions, and Corinne O'Brien, Assistant Director of New Student and Family Programs, and the selected banner carriers from your class to unveil the banner. This banner commemorates your inclusion in the class at SIUE. We hope the banner will provide an enduring reminder of your journey and your membership in this diverse and impressive group. It also represents your commitment and the university's pledge to work together to achieve our goals. Importantly, our shared commitment to having you back here in this very same place for 4 years from now as you graduate with a baccalaureate degree. This banner will hang in the Morris University Center as a visible reminder of this commitment. You will take this banner bearing your signatures to the Cougar statue outside the Morris University Center and begin your journey together as you prepare to become professionals, scholars, and leaders who shape a changing world. As we conclude Convocation, students, please remain in your seats until the platform party and faculty have exited the arena. Volunteers will dismiss each section to begin the parade. We hope you will stay around in the quad for the Sweet Treat Social and then engage in the many events planned for you this weekend. At this time, I invite our beloved mascot, Eddie the Cougar, Chancellor Minor, and President Mahoney to join Student Body President Barrett Larkin and the banner carriers to take this banner and lead our newest class of students and the parade to the Cougar statue for your class photo. This parade will begin your journey towards shaping a changing world as proud SIUE students. And now, I declare the 2024-2025 academic year officially open.